Hi all, good evening. Just confirm me that you all can hear me. Hi, good evening all. So yesterday we tried to understand some of the basics of Git, right? So have you all installed your Git? Sorry, I'm so sorry. Yesterday we tried to understand Chef, right? Have you all installed Chef organization? So look at manage.chef.io, right? In a manage.chef.io, sorry, yeah, Chef. So in a manage.chef.io, if you look at, we created an organization yesterday. In that particular organization, I'll try to download one. Okay. So which organization we created yesterday? So this is the one, right? Devops stacked May. So in that particular organization, you could see here, do you have any nodes? No. Do you have any reports? As of now, everything is like we didn't executed anything, so we could not see anything here. Policies are nothing but cookbooks. Policies are nothing but cookbooks. As of now, we did not created any cookbooks or uploaded here. Administration point of view, when you look at administration, so the what is the administration we are looking at? So one of the cookbook called Devops, right? Tact May. This particular organization starter kit I'm trying to download. When you download that particular starter kit, right? So it will try to download the it will try to download the chef and repo folder. In the chef and repo folder, if you look at it, will maintain one of the configuration file called knife.rb. So this is the one chef starter. So we'll try to get that into a separate folder kind of thing. Okay, here I'll try to maintain my chef starter kit. So if you look at the chef starter kit, right, we'll try to unzip this. Once you extracted it, it is unable to create a specified directory. Ensure that directory does not already exist. Our path entered is valid. What happened? Compressed zip folder. Okay. Extract all. What happened? I'll close here. So let me change that location of this. Maybe it is not going to do here. Let us copy here. Okay. Control X. Water distortion. So the replace which you have. Extract all. Okay, if you look at chef starter, right, there is a folder like chef repo, there is a dot chef folder. So let me do one thing. Okay, we have an different uh, tools like notepad plus plus or sublime kind of tool. Using a notepad plus plus, you can better way of you can editors, better editors. You can open that your chef icon repo folder in a notepad plus plus. Then you can try to look at. Okay. Okay, let me open that file. Open folder as a workspace. So in a C drive, we have a chef icon repo. Chef starter. In the chef starter, you have a chef icon repo. Just open that. Okay. Now you have a chef icon repo here. Okay, just let me minimize all unnecessary stuff. In a chef icon repo, there is a folder like chef. And if you look at a knife.rb, right? So knife.rb will maintain your organization details. Like what is my organization URL and how to authenticate it in your directory. There is a PEM file called raguk.pem. Okay, you may have your own PEM. Okay, okay, your PEM file. Let us say in this particular organization, your team members also working together. Okay, you want to invite a users. You want to invite a users or your team members, ask them to create as per your company mail ID, right? Ask them to create an account in a manage.chef.io. Then with the username, try to invite them. So if anyone want to create an account, if you share your user ID, right? So user ID would be signing as this particular one, right? Here you could say Raghavendra. Say if you send that particular information or your mail ID, okay, we can invite them to in your organization. So your chef developer, you both are chef developers, right? So if you have a both, if you both are working together, if your team members are working together, so what you can do, you can call, you can invite him to your organization as per their uh, privileges, as per their requirements, they can work on. Okay. So just a minute, please. Okay, fine. So you can invite our users, and you can, if you want to add a groups and all global permissions, like you can give as per the requirements. Okay. So if you look at the groups, you can add the users into your groups and you can give a global permissions. As of now, we don't know all these options now. So let us not consider them as of now. So let us move forward. Most of the times, our time we spend time in writing a cookbooks. That is nothing but in a chef server point of view, you could see it as a policies. To work within a policies, right? So what you can do is, so just let me go to that particular directory, cd chef starter. Here you have a chef repo, right? In the chef repo, if you look at, there is a cookbooks folder, and hidden, there is a one hidden folder like .chef. That actual configuration will be kept. Here you can write your cookbooks, cd cookbooks. So in the cookbooks, right, you can create, see some of the example cookbooks are given. Okay, some of the example cookbooks are given. Did I discuss the git ignore with you? Git ignore. No. So, okay, just give me a simple, just give me a minute. So what I'm trying to do is, let us say in your chef repo, you are trying to, you are working with a chef and you are making sure that your code is having a version controlled. That means you are trying to run a git init here. Once you run a git init, right? So it is created an empty repository. Okay, it has created an empty repository. When you try to create an empty repository, if you look at git status, right? So it has considered your .chef folder as well. So if it is considered .chef folder, if I go into the .chef folder, you have one of the important file called PEM file. This PEM file also uploaded to your GitHub. Okay, if the PEM file is also, we discussed, right? Git ignore is basically like if you want to ignore any particular files kind of thing, we can update that into a .git ignore file. Did I discuss or not? Vijay Shankar? We discussed. Okay. So here, if you look at the PEM file, is very important file in my point of view. So I don't want to share that to my team members or anyone. Everyone has their own PEM file. That time, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to create a file called git ignore. Git ignore. Okay. Sorry. Dot git ignore. Right. Here I try to say. When I look at here, generally these are all the files in a .chef folder. If you look at very first file, if in a .chef folder, if there is a PEM file is there, try to ignore it. Encrypted data bag secrets. I'll tell you what is the data bags today, then you can understand it. Data bag is basically user passwords, user passwords, any sensitive information you can maintain in a data bag. So that information I want to restrict. Like anything, if you don't want to share anything, you can update here. Okay. So done. So now previously, if I run the git status again, okay, though it is git status is updated, but okay, the file, especially the cookbook, the PEM file will get ignored. If you look at git add --- all, okay, okay, so git commit. See, you have in a knife.rb is there, but PEM file is. Can you see the PEM file? No. Git commit -m chef repo commit. Right. That's the first commit. Our first commit. Done. So now what are the tasks you have to do as a chef administrator over? Okay. So in general, the first task would be creating a chef server, creating an organization, download the start. Okay, then once these two tasks are done, prepare a workstation. Every user has their own workstation. Okay. Every user has their own workstation. To prepare in a workstation, basically required one chef DK. The second one is you required starter kit. Basically, kit will contain a chef repo kind of a folder. The chef repo contains in a file called knife.chef folder. In the .chef folder, it contains one file called knife.rb. That knife.rb is responsible to connect. Basically, it will maintain all the config to connect, how to connect your chef server, what is the connection details. Once it is done, in the chef-repo, change cd chef-repo. You have to be anything if you want to do. You have to be in a folder like chef-repo. Why? Because my authentication details, my cookbook details are kept over there. So once you are in a chef-repo, so what are the things you have to do? What are the things you have to do? You have to first prepare. Okay, you have to prepare first cookbooks. Okay, you have to prepare a cookbooks kind of thing. Most of the times we spend our time with preparing a cookbooks. To prepare a cookbook, first ask, okay, prepare a cookbook. A cookbook is collection of recipes and all. A lot of things are. Okay, so once the cookbook is created on where we are creating on our workstation, we are creating. 1 minute. So, okay, prepare a cookbook first. How to prepare a cookbook? Preparing a cookbook is just try to run. We have some commands. I'll share you that. No problem. So after once you prepare a cookbook, where we prepared on our workstation, we prepared. Once you prepared a cookbook, you need to upload that to your chef server. Upload cookbook to chef server. Anything if you change, if you updated, changed anything from your workstation, right? You need to inform to your chef server by running a command call. Some commands we have. You have to update that to chef server. Okay, fine. So let us say we prepared lot of cookbooks. Fine. That need to be executed in a number of servers, right? Need to be executed on a number. Let us say you have a server 1, server 2, server 3. Let us say this server is on a web server. This is on a app server. This is on a DB server. So we may not execute all the cookbooks on all the servers. Am I right? Let us say you prepared on a cookbook like MySQL. You prepared on a cookbook like Nginx or Apache. You prepared on a cookbook called Tomcat or some 3 cookbooks are prepared. So we make sure that MySQL will be executed on DB server. Am I right? So we may not execute MySQL on rest of the servers, right? Apache may be on web server, right? And Tomcat may be on your application server. Are you all agree with this? Don't execute all the cookbook on all the servers, right? So some of the common cookbooks are there. Let us say antivirus, NTP sync. There are some, let us say NTP. Let us say Nagios client or monitoring client. Anything. If you are using a Nagios, okay, Nagios client. Let us say MOTD file. In a Linux, there is a file called MOTD, right? Like um, if you want to, okay, if you want to give some message when the system login, right? So some maybe server hardening cookbook. So these are all the cookbooks you require to be executed on all the servers. All right. So MOTD is a message of the day. So these are all the some of the example cookbooks you need to be executed on all the servers. Am I right? So now try to understand. We try to have we'll conclude that okay, we may not require all the cookbooks need to be executed on all the servers. So what we can do is that once you upload it to the chef server, that step would be you need to tell. Let us say if you have a thousands of servers in your environment, that what are the servers you want to manage with the chef? That need to be bootstrap. What is meant by bootstrap? Bootstrap is nothing but install client software, installing client software, and register that with the chef server. Install bootstrapping. If someone says, okay, bootstrap a machine in a chef. Okay, if bootstrapping is nothing but you are trying to install in a client software as well as okay, you are trying to register that node with the chef server. Now onwards, the chef server, the node, okay, whatever the nodes you added, the nodes are managed by chef. Clear? Okay, fine. Now you registered, you install a client software, you registered with the chef server, all these things are done. Now, what are the cookbooks I want to execute? What are the cookbooks I want to execute? That you have to put as a run list. Add a cookbook as a run list of chef server, of a node, sorry, of node. So what you do is in a bootstrap, you try to install a client software and register with the chef server. Once done, we'll try to tell that okay, on a web server you try to install Apache, on app server you install Tomcat, DB, SQL. So and you try to add a cookbook as a run list of a node. Now you tell me after some time you created one more cookbook. Do I need to register again and again every time the client? No, only one time installing. This bootstrapping is a one-time process. Bootstrapping is a one-time process. Bootstrap and install a client software is a one-time. But whenever you try to create a new cookbook, you have to update that. Clear? So some of the hand raised, I'll try to address that first. Nandakumar, I've unmuted you. If you have any concerns, you can raise.
Can you just once again explain Bootstrap?
Sure, sure. So the bootstrap is nothing but so if you see, if you look at in a chef, if you want to work with any particular nodes, you may have n number of nodes. You want to work with them, right? So that need to be installed some software, that is client software. How to install a client software? With the bootstrapping. So it will try in a bootstrap, it will try to install a client software as well as it will try to register with the chef node, chef server kind of. So that is nothing but installing client software and registering with the chef server is nothing but bootstrapping. Any doubts? This is the one of the important flow ways. If you anyone have a doubts on this, please let me know. Yeah, client. Yes, exactly. When I say node or client or whatever, everything is same. In a chef point of view, we call it as a node. Any doubts, you can please raise your concern now, or else we'll move forward. Okay, fine. So we'll move forward then. The first thing is how to prepare a cookbook. To prepare a cookbook in older versions, they used to run a command called knife cookbook. Sorry, create cookbook name. Okay, how to create a cookbook? Knife cookbook, create cookbook name. But it is an older version. It is not available nowadays. If you want to generate a cookbook, chef generate cookbook name of the cookbook. How to upload it? Okay, so how to upload it? To upload that into the chef server, okay, upload that into the chef server, you can run a command like knife. Knife is a tool to work with a chef server to your workstation. Knife cookbook, upload name of the server. So we'll try to do this now. So what I'm trying to do, chef generate cookbook name. So let us say, make sure that you are in a cookbooks folder, or else when you're trying to create a cookbook, you try to create in a folder like, okay, knife generate cookbook, cookbooks folder. Suppose let us say test cookbook you are trying to create. Okay, so it will generate in a cookbook in a cookbooks folder test kind of a name. Either you can go to the cookbooks folder, or else you try to, okay, run in this particular way. So why it is taking this much of time? It should not take. Okay, now if you look at here, the cookbook is created. Okay, so it will create. Okay, look at the cookbook now. So go to Notepad plus plus and look at, okay, how it is look like. So when the cookbook is created in a folder like a cookbooks folder, there is a cookbook called test. In a test cookbook, right? You have to understand all this terminology, all this, like whatever the options you have to understand all these things. So if you look at okay, the one thing you have to understand first is, okay, the one of the important thing is, right, the recipes. If you look at default.rb, as of now, we don't have anything in it. Okay, so let us say yesterday we created something like a, okay, something like a, uh, where we created in a node one, right? Okay, let us see some samples. Chef cookbooks will take up and we'll try to look at it. Sample chef cookbooks. We'll take some sample cookbooks and we'll try to, okay, look at, okay, anything. So to test that particular one, as of now, that's it. So if you look at the recipes, we are most of the times we work with the recipes. These are all the recipes, right? So okay, let us say Nginx get installed. Nginx can start and enable. You get update and index.html. Those are all the things are done, right? So the no, let us collecting all these things a bit difficult. We'll take some simple example. Okay, let us say you all know MySQL, right? So if you want to install a MySQL, So if you look at here, there is the one important thing we need to understand is recipes. Where is the recipes? Where the maintained recipe? The local delivery are not like spec food critical. So where the maintained? Okay, let it be. We'll try to create our own rather than wasting time. Okay. Let us do something. Okay, in our book, we'll try to create an MOTD file. Let us say we'll try to create an MOTD file. What is MOTD? MOTD is basically a message of the day kind of thing. Okay, let us say file is a resource to create that. So where you want to create it is an etc. Okay, MOTD file do and right. So what I want to do, a file resource. If you look at a file resource, right, by default action will be created. By default action will be created. But what is the content you want to add? Let us say content. The content I want. Okay, let us see file resource first. Okay. If you look at here, chef file resource. Okay. So you can try to create a file in a etc MOTD file. So basically you need to write some content. Okay. Content can be anything. Okay, content can be anything. Let us say as of now I'm making it as content as welcome to Linux machine kind of content we try to make. Okay, something. Okay, we try to update some content. Done. So only 3 lines of code is required. Let us say file, which file you want to create, content. So generally action you can specify create kind of thing, but every resource has some actions. So the file point of view default is create. So I didn't specify, I need not to specify that, okay, create kind of thing. You want to delete action, you can delete kind of thing. You want to update the timestamp of the file, you can say patch. Patch file, this updates the access timestamp of that particular file. Okay, clear. Now, once you created a file, right? So what you have to do, you have to upload that information to Chef server. Upload that to Chef server. Knife, book, upload, MOTD. File is test, right? Sorry, test. So knife cookbook upload test. So it will try to look at your .chef folder, whatever the knife.rb file has. So whatever the organization details you have, it will try to update into that particular one. Clear? You will try to update your cookbook, upload the cookbook into the Chef server. Okay. So now if you look at here, the cookbook is uploaded. Once the cookbook is uploaded, okay, once the cookbook is uploaded, right? Now you try to look at, go to the Chef server and try to understand. Okay, try to look at that cookbook is uploaded or not. Where you could see that cookbook details, you could see that cookbook details in a one of the file like. Okay.
In this scenario.
Okay. So let us go to the Chef server, manage.chef.io. See, as of now, you don't have any policies, but when I refresh the policy, right? You could see the test policy. But if you look at the test policy, right, it is saying that if you look at the test policy, it is saying that version 0.1.0. Okay, why it is saying 0.1.0, right? Why it is saying 0.1.0? So in any file, when you try to look at a cookbook file, right, you have to look at first thing, that is a metadata.rb. When I created a cookbook, next file we are trying to understand is a metadata.rb. In a metadata.rb, we are saying that my cookbook name is test. Maintainer, you can specify the maintainer name. Who is the maintainer? Okay. Then what is the maintainer email address? Like let's say you have uploaded, you created a cookbook, right? So you can maintain your details, okay? Your name, your mail ID, or else your team mail ID. Okay. So once you updated that information, that particular information, okay, then you can say that description, what exactly it does, right? So then you can say, okay, what is the version of that particular cookbook? Here it is a version. Important thing is version. Version is 0.1.0, and make sure that it works only chef version 12. You are specifying that if chef version is greater than 12.x version, this cookbook will work. So these kind of information you have given. And also you can say, okay, if this cookbook something is uploaded to this particular GitHub location, your GitHub location, your company GitHub location, source code is located here. All this information basically you can give in a metadata. So yesterday we tried to understand the cookbooks are located, most of the community cookbooks are located in the supermarket.chef.io. Okay, community cookbooks are located in supermarket.chef.io. If you download that cookbook from the community, right? Community cookbook. So first you have to look at metadata.rb file. What exactly it is. Okay. Is there any conditions are there? Sometimes you could see some depends. If one cookbook is dependent on other cookbook. Okay. Okay. Let us say, okay, suppose you want to download some package for that. Okay. M repositories or related, some cookbook is required. Any certain cookbooks required depends or whatever. So sometimes it says that, okay, this kind of version is required. Then that particular scenario, if you work n number of times, it will not work until unless if you look at the metadata.rb. So first you have to look at a metadata.rb. That metadata.rb will give you a right info. Okay, it will give you all the information based on that particular information, right? So you can go and work. Is it clear? What is the metadata.rb? Is it clear? Okay, then we'll look at the rest of the things. Okay, now I have uploaded to the one of the chef server. Then what I'm trying to do, I need one server bootstrap that particular machine. Okay, what we understood now in a notepad, we created a cookbook, uploaded the cookbook server. Now you need to bootstrap a machine. Bootstrapping is nothing but installing a client software and registering that with the chef server. Installing a client software. So you can update, okay, like yeah, you can update your versions in a metadata. We see that, okay, in a some time, okay, we'll try to change our versions and we'll try to look at all those stuff. Okay. So as of now, we'll try to understand 0.1.0 is a one version you have. Okay, we'll try to look at more versions. Okay, now we'll try to understand how to bootstrap a machine. So if you look at here, my environment, I have one server already installed. Okay, let us say this is the try to look at this, guys. This is the CentOS mission. If you look at more /etc/ star something star-release. So it is on a CentOS release 6.7. If you run the same command on other mission, it is on a Ubuntu mission. Okay. It is on a Ubuntu machine. So we have a different operating systems here. Okay, we have a different operating systems. So we want to work with them actually. So when you have a different operating systems or okay, whatever, it doesn't matter with operating system. So we'll try to bootstrap that particular machine now first. Okay, to bootstrap a machine, what is the IP address we have now? That's it. The command for the bootstrap is okay. Bootstrap a machine. Now command is knife bootstrap hyphen IP address or host name, then hyphen X username hyphen capital P. Make sure that it is a capital P, guys. Don't forget it is a capital P. Okay, capital P, the capital P, then the password of the file, password of the server. Then hyphen sudo. Generally, if you use a username, may not have a privileges to install Chef client software, right? So you have to use a sudo hyphen sudo. If you want to give any alias name hyphen n name of the server, you can give generally the FQDN. What is FQDN? Fully qualified domain name of the server, right? So this is the way you can go forward. So then what I said, add the cookbook into the run list of the node, right? So you can say here itself hyphen r run list, the recipe name, you can add it. But as of now, I'm not adding. We'll try to look at both commands first, then we'll try to add that. Okay. So this is the way you can go forward. This is a command. So now try to look at that. Knife bootstrap IP address of the server or hostname 192.168.56.13. It is a Ubuntu machine. Hyphen X username is a vagrant. Hyphen capital P. Password is also vagrant. Hyphen sudo hyphen capital N. I can say something like node 3. Okay, so this is the way I've tried to update my details. Clear? Clear? So let us run this. So it will connect to that particular machine. As of now, we didn't discuss servers, guys. Okay, just wait for some time. So first, I'm trying to register this node with my chef server. Then I can say which cookbook I want to execute on this node. I'll tell that after some time. Okay, just wait for some time here. Okay. So first, I need to upload that cookbook to the chef server. Something went wrong. Host does not match 192.168.56.13. So what is the IP address of this machine? 192.168.56.13. Right. Any mistake? Knife bootstrap 192.168.56.13 IP address hyphen X username hyphen capital P password vagrant everything right. Host key mismatch fingerprint. Let us see. Okay, we'll try to run it again. It should not happen actually. Okay, it see already node 3 is there, right? So that's why it is asking us to, you want me to overwrite kind of thing. Yes, overwrite it. Connect to the client, connecting to that particular node 3, connecting to this particular IP address. Let us see what happens. Host key, what is this host key net SSH? Let me do one thing. So cd/etc chef. Okay, it is already there is a one folder called file called chef. Okay, vi client.rb. Nothing is there actually. Just a minute. Rm minus. Okay, if generally what happens, trying to create, it is nothing but it is trying to create a client software, install a client software, then it will try to update etc chef folder. It will try to create a folder like chef. So let us see what happening. Let me give a last try and we'll look at why it is not. Node 3 can be anything. You can name anything. Node 3, my name, your name, that is up to you. Okay. So there is some issue I have. Let's see if some other mission. I'll make it as a node 2 and we'll give an IP address as 12. Okay. Let us see. Let us see this one. Okay. Creating a node 2 now, it is connecting over this IP address. Okay, now you see that it is connected to the machine and installing a client software using a trying to double get this particular client software, chef client, this particular software in a temp directory. This RPM it is going to download. Okay, once install that RPM, okay, once install that RPM, so it will try to tell that. Okay. Okay, the installation is done 100%. The client software installation is done. Now what happens? It will try to set up the registration as well. It will try to register with the chef server. Okay. So now what you're doing, the bootstrapping is nothing but installing a client software. See, thanks for installing chef. Client software installed. Now what it is doing is starting the chef client run. It is trying to run chef client. Starting chef client. Version is 3.13.8 version is as installed. So if you look at here, it is trying to run the cookbook also. Once you say that, okay, thanks for installing chef, it is trying to install the cookbooks. But as of now, we didn't say any cookbook. So it is saying that 0 of 0 resources are updated in 31 seconds. It has taken some around 31 seconds to execute this. But you didn't updated any cookbook. I told you, right? At the time of installing, at the time of bootstrap itself, you can say -r, a run list you can update there itself. You can say -r, or what is the run list you want to add? You can add it. Because I didn't add it, so it is just installed. Now you can add that cookbook to the run list. Okay, now you can add any cookbook to the run list. Before going to add any cookbook to the run list, we'll try to look at any nodes added as of now. Any nodes added? Yes, node 3 added, but you didn't updated any information. But in a node 1, node 2, right? It has updated. It is a CentOS machine. It is a node2.mylab.local server. How long it is running? Okay, it is saying that how 10 from 10 hours it is running. Let us see, is that right? 10 hours. If you look at uptime, right? It is something. Okay, 10 hours. From the 10 hours it is running, right? Okay, one user is updated. Load is this and all. So if you look at, these are all the details. So it has collected all the system information. Now every node has some run list. Run list is nothing but what kind of cookbooks I want to execute. If you look at here as of now, is there any run list? Edit the run list. Do you have any cookbooks in a run list? No. If you want to add a test run list here, yes, you can add it and save it. This is a graphical way. If you want to do command line, if you want to add a command line, yes, you can add the command line way. So what you can do, knife cookbook, knife node, run underscore list. Okay, let me see some example. If you want to get the command list, right, you try to run the knife cookbook or knife node, whatever the command it will help you. Okay, what are the commands are available? Okay, it is saying that these many options you have. If you want to add any cookbook to the run list of any server, you can say knife node run underscore list add node name. Okay, if you want to delete, create a node. If you want to delete a node, knife node delete, edit a node, environment. Well, there are a lot of things are there, right? In a knife node, I want to add this particular option. Knife node add, sorry, run underscore list add. Then what is the node name? Node 2, right? Node 2, right? What is the node name? It is recognizing node 2. Then what is the cookbook? Add node name. Then what is the cookbook? I can say recipe. I can say something like this. Recipe name is test. Done. But if you look at, is that recipe name test? What is the recipe name? Default.rb, right? The recipe name is default.rb, but I am trying to say test. But if you look at test, if you want to add a recipe name, you can say : default dot default. You have to update in this particular way. Anyway, the cookbook level, that is a default recipe, so you need not to specify that. If you have another recipe, if you want to add, you can specify that. Just run this now. If you look at what I tried to do previously, I ran a command, bootstrap command. This command, I installed Chef client software on one of the client node called node 2. Now I'm trying to add some run list on that. Clear? Now see that run list recipe added test. Now go and look at in a no. Okay, if you look at your run list, right? Previously we don't have anything here. Try to refresh and look at your node, your run list here. If you look at run list, what test cookbook is added, right? Now, if I want to execute locally any cookbook, you can say chef apply. If you want to execute on remote machine, I can say chef-client. From the client, you have to run only one command. From the client, you have to run only one command, that is chef-client. That's it. If you run the chef-client, what happens? cd etc chef folder. chef-client, CLIE. When you run a chef-client, right, it will try to connect your chef server and try to get all the cookbooks to related to the server and execute locally. Okay, so it will try to get the cookbooks and try to execute locally. See that? Now what happened? It is collected in a cookbook called test, and it is created in a file called etcmotd, right? So if you look at more /etc/motd, welcome to Linux. So when you try to install chef client software, right? When you try to install chef client, basically bootstrap, it will does two things. One is installing client software and updating etc chef folder. In etc chef folder, it will create a 3 files. That is a client.rb, client.temp, first boot.json. Client.rb, basically it will try to maintain your chef server details. This is my chef server, Devops stack to May. PEM file to authenticate this server. The first boot.json, right? First time when you bootstrap it, if you updated any cookbooks details, it will maintain that. As of now, the run list is 0, nothing. First time bootstrap level, you didn't give any run list. That's why it is empty. Is that clear, guys? Any doubts here? Any doubts? Till now, we try to execute this entire notepad, this particular one. Any doubts in this? Please raise your concern. Bharat, is that clear? Oh, Bharat, today I did not understand anything. Could you please explain again the scenario? Okay. Is that for everyone or else? Guys, is that for everyone? Like, did you able to follow or? Come on. Okay. So even Nanda Kumar also same feeling, did not understand, did not understand. Okay. Okay, fine. Okay, let me, okay, fine. So most of followed 90%. Okay, good. Okay, anyway, so we'll try to understand it again, guys. Okay, don't worry. So actually yesterday itself, we try to understand most of the cookbook details. So this is only the scenario, like this is only the setup of your chef environment. Okay, try to concentrate here, guys. Okay, let me pick up one user and one or two users. Okay, who are having issue, guys, don't think another way. So we'll try to unmute them and we'll try to take an interactive session kind of thing. Like if one or two participants, like if whoever don't understand, so they may get it. Okay. So if you look at Bharat, I'm trying to unmute you. Okay, as you said, you didn't understand anything, and also Nanda Kumar, right? Okay, let us have an interactive session kind of thing. Why? Because it is the one. Yeah, just a minute. Okay, Nanda Kumar, where are you?
Hi Raghu.
Hi, hi. I could not see you. Okay, Nanda Kumar. Okay, I'm trying to unmute you as well. Okay, let us understand
Raghu.
step by step. Okay, so okay, anyone if you want to have an interactive session, guys, you can ping me. I'll try to make you unmute. first creating a chef server, that is hosted chef server, manage.chef.io. Is that clear?
Yes, Raghu.
Okay, good. So manage.chef.io.
Raghu, this Bharat here. My point is, so till yesterday, right? Like you told, until creating the organization, everything is
Mhm.
fine. But
No, no, I'm trying to cover from the scratch. Just try to look
yeah,
at, okay.
because
So I created an
the first thing is I'm unable to understand. Like maybe I am only the one. I don't know who else is
no, no, no,
there.
no.
What is the use of chef actually? So what we are trying to do here in the chef?
That is what I'm trying to cover. Okay. If you look
Okay.
at,
Okay.
so if you have, let us say a simple example, what generally chef can do, you can maintain infrastructure as a code. And also, let us say a simple example, you want to install Java 8, Java 9, already all the servers, you have 1,000 servers, Java 8 is running, you want to make it to 9. So you can write an infrastructure as a code and you can push it to n number of servers. All the servers will be updated that particular, okay, Java 9 in a span of minutes. Let us say a simple example will take up. So let us say you are working on a Flipkart kind of a company. They announced a big billion day tomorrow. You require some around 100 servers to be support that part. Okay, you need to have more 100 servers. That servers need to be started and make sure that them, okay, make sure that so servers are production ready. So how can you do that? So once you prepare your infrastructure as a code, okay, once the server is started, what you want to do is you want to install an Apache, you want to install Tomcat, MySQL, antivirus, that, this, everything, all the cookbooks in span of minutes, it will create and make them production ready. Okay, hundreds of servers, we are trying to make them production ready in a span of minutes. Go to AWS, start 100 servers. Once it is started, you want to install all these cookbooks. Okay, these all can be installed automatically. Am I audible?
Yeah,
Is
Raghu.
my
Yeah.
voice breaking?
Yes, Raghu. Yes.
Okay, some of the participants says that. Sachin, can you please rejoin? If anyone having a issue, right? Okay, if everyone having issue, might be my issue, or else I'll try to rejoin. Okay. So what we are trying to achieve with this particular configuration management tools is, so we are trying to automate our infrastructure. Okay, maybe onboarding the servers, maybe regular updates, whatever you are trying to do as a system administrator regularly, you are trying to automate that. To do that, you have on a different nodes. We need to install client software and we need to tell that information to the chef server. Okay, let us say you have 1,000 server. Okay, you want to update to the thousands of servers in a single go. First, you need to bootstrap. Okay, before going to that, okay, now you clear, right? What is the Vijay Kumar? Is that clear now? What is a chef? What chef does?
Yeah, Raghu. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes, Raghu. Yeah.
now we'll move forward. What is the chef server first? Okay, we try to create an account in manage.chef.io that is hosted chef server. If you want to create your own chef server in your AWS account or in your data center, yes, you can do that. Once you created an account, try to create an organization. Organization is an isolated environment. Yes, you can manage your Windows servers, Linux, whatever. So you can create an organization. Once you create an organization, you try to download that starter kit. Now you prepare a workstation. In a chef, we have a three-tier architecture. It is. You will have a workstation, that is your laptop. You work, most of the work can be done in a workstation. That can be, once you prepare your workstation code, you try to upload it to the chef server. Chef server, here it is, your organization, what you prepared. Chef server is nothing but what is the organization we prepared. To do that, we prepared our workstation. To prepare a workstation, you need to install Chef DK and download the starter kit. Is that clear? Is this first part clear?
Yes, Raghu.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So once you downloaded a starter kit, you could unzip it. You could find one folder like chef-repo. You go into that. Why? Because there is a one file. Why we have to be in that particular folder? There is a one config file called knife.rb. In the knife.rb, okay, your chef server details are kept. Okay, because of that, we are in a chef repo folder. Now the next task is you need to prepare a cookbook. Whatever you want to install, MySQL, Tomcat, Apache, MODD, Nagios, whatever you want to automate, installing antivirus, whatever, we try to prepare a cookbook. How to prepare a cookbook? Chef generate cookbook name. Is this clear? We created a cookbook, right? Is this clear?
Yeah, yes, Raghu.
Okay.
Yes.
So, okay. Once you created on a cookbook, right? So we prepared, where we prepared it is in our workstation. That is nothing but my laptop, your laptop. Okay. Okay, you prepared in workstation. So that need to be, the code will be located in your chef server, right? So what we have to do, we have to upload that to the chef server by running a command called knife cookbook upload. The cookbook name, we created it as a test service. Done. So we created a cookbook and we uploaded to the chef server. Done.
Yes.
Now you have thousands of servers. You have to bootstrap them. First time, only one time you have to bootstrap them. Bootstrapping is nothing but going and installing a client software. So what is the command? Knife bootstrap, IP address or host name, username, password, sudo privileges, whatever the node name, that is up to you. Generally a fully qualified domain name.
Raghu,
Okay.
what you mean by client software here? Is that Apache, Tomcat, MySQL? That's what we are talking
No,
about.
no, 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 no. Client software is nothing but Chef. Yesterday we installed, right? To test something. Yesterday what we learned, we installed Chef client software, right?
Okay.
Okay, might be my mistake. We could have said that, okay, Chef client software. Install Chef client software. How can we get it to Chef client software? It is automatically getting installed, but if you want to install manually, so what you have to do is that, okay, downloads.chef.io, go there. Yesterday what we learned, okay, we go there, we went here, Chef client software, and which operating system, okay, let us say it is on a Red Hat machine, right? It is a center Red Hat 7 or 6. Based on that, it is, we downloaded this package and we installed, right? That is what it is doing. Client Chef client software it is installing. Is that clear?
Yes.
Install
Yes,
right
Raghu. Yeah.
Chef
This
client.
is the confusion actually. The chef client software it is. Okay. Okay.
Okay, it is installing Chef client software and registering, and this information is giving to Chef server. That is nothing but I installed a node 1. I installed whatever the server IP address, whatever. Then try it. Okay, you have a thousands of servers. We may not execute all the cookbooks on all the servers. We'll try to say that, okay, web server Apache, Tomcat app, MySQL DB, something. We'll try to segregate, add a cookbook to the run list. Then you run only one command from the client side, that is chef-client. Okay, so by running this command chef-client, it will try to execute, it will try to connect to the chef server, and what are the cookbooks you are added to that particular server, those cookbooks will be collected and executed on a node side. Anyone having any doubts now? Nanda Kumar, Bharat,
And no. Got it, Raghu. Thanks.
Vijay,
Yes,
Bhaskar.
Raghu. So in this cookbook only we wrote the code for etc MOTD, right?
Yes, if you look
Am I
at here, the output, what it is saying. Okay, actually you are trying to say that file etc motd action create, but it is up to date, already created. So
Yeah.
it says that okay, it is already up to date.
So Raghu, I have one more question. So when we run this chef client, right? So it will install on all the servers, right? All the servers what we have.
No, not all the servers. Where you
Okay.
added run list, where you added a run list. I added a run list in only one server as of now. If you look at here, knife cookbook node run underscore list add node 2, which cookbook test. Tomorrow, if you added a node 3, node 4, node 5, suppose let us say Java need to be installed all the servers. You can say that. Am I clear?
Yes, Raghu. So for whatever servers we add a run list, right? So only on the servers, the chef
Exactly.
it will execute, right? Client
Exactly.
chef client. Okay.
So
Okay.
Windows server may not require the test cookbook MOTD file. We may not require it. So we don't execute on it.
Okay. Okay.
Bunch of nodes, yes, we can do bunch of nodes also. How to, okay, 2 or more nodes. Okay, you can do all those stuff. Okay, I'll try to tell you all those things one by one. Okay. Okay, I'm trying to show you the single node, but you can do n number of nodes. Let us say you write a script saying that, okay, to update in one of the notepad, one over your file, all the servers list for IN, you can say something like cat, the servers list, and do, okay, do, then try to run this command, knife cookbook, whereas, sorry, what is the command? Knife, bootstrap, whatever it is. Okay, now if you want to bootstrap a number of nodes in a single go, bootstrap, knife, bootstrap, $I. Okay, $I. What is the command? Knife, bootstrap, IP address or host name hyphen X, username, let's say vagrant, hyphen capital P, password, like that. Right? Then the hyphen N, $I again. Okay, $I, hyphen sudo. You can do this. This is one example I'm trying to give. You can use for loop. Okay. There are other examples also there. I'll try to tell you that in a while.
So Raghu, before using this for loop, you need to make sure that all the servers which you are using the file, right, are added to the run list, right?
No. Okay, look at here. First, I'm trying to bootstrap it. Okay, first I'm trying to bootstrap. Bootstrap is nothing but I'm trying to install client software.
Yes,
Once you
yes,
have done that, see, bootstrapping is common for all the servers, but you may not install all the cookbooks in that.
yes, yes.
So you have to segregate that your cookbooks into, okay,
Okay, so now the loop you showed to install the bootstrap on all the servers, right?
yes.
Okay, okay, got it.
Then, okay, let us say all my web servers required Apache server. Okay, Apache. You can execute that. Okay, so let us move forward. Shall we take a break for? I hope it is all clear for this notepad, whatever I'm showing. Is that I think you all clear with this particular notepad now. Anyone having issues, please let me know. What is $I? $I is nothing but you are trying to get in a variable kind of thing. Okay, for loop, in a for loop, we are trying to get a variable kind. Whatever the list you have, we are trying to get a variable. Okay, so
Muted.
take a 10 minutes break here. It is now 20:15. That is nothing but 8:15. So we'll meet in a 10 minutes and we'll try to look at more chef. Okay. Unless created in a workstation and post server. Just give me a minute. I will try to discuss all the options. And I mute for 10 minutes, guys. We'll meet again after the 10 minutes. Okay, let us move forward. So the question here is like from Vijay Bhaskar, run list is created in a workstation and pushed to the server via knife command. Exactly, you're right. Is that it is right? Sure, Vijay Bhaskar. So any more questions, or else you want me to move forward? You want me to move forward? Okay. So now what we'll try to do is, okay, let us say our run list is nothing but what exactly you want to execute on a node side. You may have an n number of cookbooks, but specifically I can say, okay, this cookbook is required kind of thing, right? You may have n number of cookbooks, but what is the cookbook you want to execute on a particular node, right? So that is the way you can go for. So let us understand more. Example, okay. Example is nothing but a simple example. I'll try to. As of now, how many cookbooks you have? If you look at a CD cookbooks, you have a cookbook called Test. Let us say you may have another cookbook. Okay, new cookbook. Let us say knife, chef generate cookbook. Let us say a cookbook name called something like let us say Java 8. Okay, a cookbook name called Java 8. You have a cookbook called Test and Java 8, but as of now you required this node required only Test, not Java 8. Java 8 may require another server. So we'll try to add the run list of the other server with the Java 8. Some server required on a only test cookbook, some servers required on a Java 8 cookbook. So whichever the server required a Java 8, I'll try to add run list of the Java. Whichever server required a test, I'll try to add a run list of that one. Yes, there is a question from Prachi. Is does the bootstrap will take care of the installing correct client, whether okay, yes, it will try to take care of that installing correct software on that particular one. You need not to worry. Okay, if you want to do manually, yes, you can take an appropriate package and you try to install. Okay, now we'll try to look at more options, guys. Let us move forward. We have to discuss a lot of things. Okay, so yes, exactly. Vijay Shankar, run list is equals to like a server list which we need to execute cookbooks or softwares. Exactly. So now what we'll try to do is, if you look at an okay, if you look at an our Notepad++. So when you try to create a cookbook called test, we try to update our recipe details. Fine. Then before going to before going to upload to the chef server, right? Generally, chef server, we are uploading chef server means it is going to production, right? Before going to upload that, we have to do generally two things. One is to test that cookbook. One is the test the cookbook. The other one is uploading to the GitHub. Okay, either test the cookbook. One is test the cookbook and uploading to the Git server. How to test it first? How to test it? So testing, we have a lot of things. In a testing, okay, we have a lot of things. One of the test is kitchen.aml. It is a test kitchen actually. There is a software called test kitchen. That test kitchen software is already installed at the time of bootstrap. Test kitchen software is already installed at the time of bootstrap. If you look at your kitchen.aml, I'm trying to say that, okay, so it is trying to create an new kitchen environment for you. There it will try to deploy your cookbooks and it will try to test with the help of Vagrant. Okay, so there is one site called kitchen.yaml file site, so you can try to understand that more details. Okay, you can say kitchen.ci. There is a site called kitchen.ci. It will try to tell about more your test kitchen kind of infrastructure as a code drivers test to. Okay, you can test it. Infrastructure as a code, yes, right, but you can test that code as well. So installing already chef decay installed, so you need not to install chef this one again. Okay, so try to go forward and try to look at a kitchen help. It will try to help. These are all the help commands. But generally, how to create on a cookbook? So you create on a cookbook called chef generate cookbook. The cookbook name they have given as git underscore cookbook. Some cookbook they have created. Now in the cookbook there is a by default one file called .kitchen.yaml file. The kitchen.yaml file says that driver is Vagrant. You want to launch some servers with the help of Vagrant. Then I want to test my cookbook. Platform is on Ubuntu. I want to test it. Okay. So to do that, we required a command. First, the command we can run is kitchen list. So you have to be in that particular cookbook first. So cd test cookbook. The test cookbook, there is a file called .kitchen.yaml file. Yes, you have. If I run this command, kitchen list, whether you created a kitchen or not as of now. So we are trying to run a kitchen. We are trying to test our test cookbook. Then we are trying to upload that cookbook to the chef server. Okay, if someone asks you what you did, okay, generally the cookbook creating, all those things are done fine. But when come to the testing, how to test that particular cookbook? Okay, before going to upload, you have to test it, right? Okay, how to test it? With the kitchen. Okay, with the test kitchen. With the test kitchen, you can test it. So if you want to test with the test kitchen, if you want to test it, first you have to prepare the kitchen. In the kitchen, you can test your cookbook. So, okay, if you look at here, it says that we are going to create an Ubuntu and CentOS 7. As of now, is this created? Not yet created. It is not yet created. What I'll try to do, I don't require both. As of now, I'll try to remove this Ubuntu. I want to test it on in CentOS. I don't require both. Save. Okay. If you look at, I have a CentOS machine as of now. If you look at Vagrant, already in my environment, Vagrant is installed. Vagrant box list. Otherwise, it will download from the repository. I don't want to do that. I want to test here itself. I want to make sure that if the image is locally available, then we do it. Or else it will try to download from repository. It may take some time. So if you have a CentOS 7.6.7, you have. Okay, or else Ubuntu, let us say we'll make it as 6.7. CentOS the 7 means again it will download. It will take a lot of time. I'm trying to say 6.7. Now what we'll do is, okay, if you run a create a kitchen list right now, it will try to say that it will try. This time it will try to say that it is only one kitchen, one server it is going to prepare, not two. That too, CentOS 6.7, not 7. Getting my point? So it will create an environment. It will create an environment like okay, then it will try to execute on it. So this time, if you look at it, is trying to prepare only one CentOS 7. Driver is Vagrant. Provisioner is Chef Solo or Chef 0. Inspec. Okay, SSH is a transporter, not yet created. Now try to kitchen create. Kitchen create will create that particular environment. Kitchen list is done. Now you want to create an instances. To create an instances, we generally used to run a Vagrant app, right? Okay, here you can say kitchen create. When you run the kitchen create, it will look at your kitchen.yaml file, and then it will try to create that environment. Kitchen create. Automatically, it will create one server for you. If you look at here, where is the Git? Okay, this is the Oracle virtual box. It will try to connect your Vagrant and virtual in a virtual box. It will try to create a server. If you look at here, chef work. So it is trying to create one more server now in a while. So starting kitchen. So it may take a couple of minutes and we will try to start that particular server. Yes. Oh, kitchen is nothing but it is a test to test your environment, to test your cookbooks before uploading to the chef server, right? So better you test it, then try to confirmation. Once you confirm that it is all working fine, then push it to chef server as well as GitHub. GitHub, why we need to upload to GitHub? To other users help. Okay, if you look at a booting VM, right? Go to VirtualBox and look at whether it is server is starting or not. If you look at here, the default center S7 is started. One more mission, right? It is trying to convert. Once it is done, you want to execute the cookbook on the server. Now, if you run the kitchen list, right, it will say that it is created. It will say that it is created. Okay, now it will take some time. Okay, now if you look at if you want to execute that particular recipe on that particular server, package git, they want to install git, fine. Now you can say kitchen converge. Kitchen converge. Try to understand. There is we are trying to understand one more terminology now. That is converge. Okay. What is the converge? Okay, just give me a minute. Let this get executed. Yeah, thanks for waiting. This. Now try to run a kitchen list. If you run a kitchen list, right, this time it will tell that created, the environment is created kind of thing. If you look at previously, it is not at created kind of an output you could see, but this time it will tell that created kind of thing. Okay, so if you look at here, it is created now. Done. Now you want to converge. Converging is nothing but, remember, we have a terminology called converging. Convergence or converging is nothing but executing a cookbook. So we look at when you try to run a Chef client on any client, right? The next terminology what we are trying to understand is the next terminology is notepad. If you look at that is a conversion. Convergence is nothing but when you run a chef client on any node, okay, on any node, generally we run only one command, that is chef client. When you run the chef client, it will do two things. One is a convergence, second one is why. Don't get confused, I'll explain it. Convergence is nothing but getting the cookbook details, select the details from chef server and execute locally. Why is nothing but execute, collect all the systems information, your node information, and give it to server. Select node information and submit chef server and send to server. So one is getting from the server, other one is you try to collect your entire system details and give it to the chef server. Because of collecting entire system details, it will come to know whether it is a system, Windows system, Linux system, Ubuntu. Based on that, it will try to execute the cookbook. Okay, so if you look at here the node details, right, everything you will get here. Because why? Because it is collected, it is executed. Why? If you look at node 2, if you look at node 2 details, if you look at an attribute, we call AHI details, whatever AHI details, right, we call it as an attributes. If you look at what is my machine name, FQDN, domain, okay, what is the IP address, what is the MAC address, if you look at network, kernel details, Linux kernel details, platform, okay, OS, modules, what are the modules you have, everything. If you look at etc, passwords, what is the password file has, okay, and if you look at languages, everything, whatever you have on a node side, everything it will collect, entire system information, including your disk size, memory details, like whatever. Because see, if you look at your CPU memory details, how much memory you have, swap space, how much free is there, total cache hit, okay, everything, memory details, platform details. Platform version is 6.7, family is Red Hat, platform is CentOS, right? So it will maintain entire your details, because whenever you run a chef client, it will execute a command called OHI. OHI will collect entire your system details and submit to the chef server. Converging is nothing but getting the cookbook and executing locally. So the testing is on, it is not, you can use an AWS machine or any machine, okay? Either you can use AWS or Vagrant locally. If you want to execute locally, you can use this particular one. When you are trying to use a Vagrant AWS, right, you have to tell the driver is AWS. When you tell driver is AWS, you have to give your access key, secret access key, all those details. It is not mandatory that you have to use only Vagrant test kitchen kind of thing. Clear? Now, what is the kitchen converge? Kitchen converge will try to get the cookbook and execute on that particular node. Okay. Now try to understand. There is a one sentence here. This is also very important. Let me copy this and come on. Sorry. Okay, let me converge it again. Let me copy it into a notepad. I'll try to explain this now. Resolving the cookbook dependencies by looking at the brick shelf. There is another software. First, we try to understand. Now we are trying to understand kitchen, right? Kitchen. We are now to test cookbooks. Now we are trying to understand another software called brick shelf. Okay. What is a brick shelf does? Once you understand this, right? See, it is trying to install chef client software and it will execute all the cookbooks. Then it will, you can test it, okay, whether it is as per the expectation it is installed or not. Yes, so I will execute. Yes, you are right. I will execute first, then it will execute convergence. Because of OHA executed, it will come to know what is your server details, like which operating system, what is the service status, anything it will try to come to know first. Based on that, it will try to execute the conversion. Okay, it's the first, then convergence is the second. Okay, if you look at it is trying to install and all, then it will try to go through. Test kitchen is done, right? We'll move forward. Next is brick shelf. Brick shelf is nothing but dependency manager, dependency download manager. Okay, what I mean to say with dependency is, let us say you want to install something. Okay, okay, what you want to install? Let us say you want to install Tomcat. Okay, you want to install it. So to install a Tomcat, what exactly you require? Okay, if you look at install Tomcat on CentOS 7 or 6, wherever you require. When you're trying to make your cookbook, right, you make sure that there is a platform independent. It should work on a Windows, Linux, or whatever. Okay, so now try to understand. If you want to install Tomcat, right, we require a Java. Is that clear? Is that clear? Okay, the question here is, where can we find the documentation for the understanding better? Okay, I'll give you better documentation, guys. Don't worry. Okay. I started given one student handout, right? That is a better one. You just follow that, okay? You'll get more clear understanding. So if you look at here, so we try to install a Tomcat, but it required a Java cookbook. Java need to be installed. Okay, so what I'm trying to do here, let us go to my chef cookbook. Let us go to my GitHub location. Okay, Raghu K134. Here you could find some books like Java, Tomcat, basically Tomcat related. So try to look at here. There is some repositories. Here try to search for a cookbook called Tomcat. Okay, Tomcat app. Try to look at this. Try to look at Tomcat Pet Clinic app deploy. Okay, some cookbook is there. So if you look at here, what we are trying to do is, if you look at a Tomcat metadata, what I told you first, you have to look at metadata.rv, right? It says that it depends on Java. Also, it depends on some Tomcat, right? So it says that these two are dependent, right? So how can we maintain the dependencies? Well, let me write in my own cookbook actually. So let us download these two cookbooks from the supermarket. Okay, so what I'm trying to do here, it is finished, all the execution, all these things are done. It is created welcome to Linux already, right? So I'm trying to go to metadata.rb of my test cookbook. I'm trying to say that sorry, say it depends on Tomcat this particular version and this particular version. Okay, so you downloaded some cookbook from Git, some supermarket. There are some dependencies. Without observing that, you are trying to execute a number of times, but it will not execute, right? Until unless you download this, until unless you have these cookbooks. Why? Because in metadata.rb we are trying to say that depends on this. Okay, so how can we download this? So we can go and download the supermarket and you can create it, right? Tomcat may be dependent on other, Java may be dependent on other. Am I right? So you might have worked, all of you might have worked with RPM, right? Did you all worked on RPM? RPM-IVH, install some RPMs kind of thing. So when you try to work with RPM, right, what happens? It will try to look at a dependencies. Is that resolve the dependencies? No, right? So generally RPM try to install some package, but if the package is dependent on other, suppose you have to download that first, then you have to install that. If that other package may be dependent on other package, let us say A, you are trying to install a package, but it is dependent on B. So what you have to do first, B you have to install. B may be dependent on C. First you have to C install. So in that way you have to first dependencies to be installed all, then you have to install A. To avoid that unnecessary issues, you can go with a yum install that package name. If you install yum install package name, right, it will try to resolve all the dependencies automatically and it will install actual package. In the same way, there is a software called Brickshelf. The Brickshelf is responsible to download all the dependencies. So work with, as a test kitchen, you have a file called kitchen.yaml. In the same way, you have a file called Brickshelf. If you look at Brickshelf, right, there is it says that whatever you have a dependencies, it is going to download from the supermarket.shelf.io, and dependencies will be look at metadata. So in a metadata, what are the dependencies are there? Okay, these two. And from where I need to download? From this particular location. From super. You can specify your GitHub details. Okay, whatever you want to maintain, you can maintain it. Right? So try to save your metadata.rb. Now what you have to do, how to work with that? Just already you are, if you look at ls-lrt, Brickshelf is okay, Brickshelf is the Bricks file is there. To download the dependencies, you can run a command called bricks install, breks, bricks install, bricks, come on, it is a one word, I hope. breks install. What happened? Okay, let me check the command. I forgot the command. Chef install. So install in the Chef DK. Okay, already Chef DK installed all the bricks file. Set up your workstation. Chef DK is done. Okay. Yeah. So there is a command called bricks install and bricks upload. Okay, just a minute. Let us search for this particular file. Chef. Okay, bricks file. Okay, so let us search for this particular file details about bricks file. So okay, let us say if you write any dependencies like this, so you can update your bricks file like this, your whatever the GitHub details and all. Generally you run a bricks install. I will given right only. Okay, so if you run this command, right, so it will try to look at a bricks file and try to download. What is the mistake I've given? Oh, BRKS. I've given a BRKS. Oh, that is a mistake. So it will try to look at your bricks file, and whatever the metadata dependencies are there, it is trying to download. In this case, okay, in this particular case, it is trying to download Java, OpenSSL, Test, Tomcat, Windows, MEPL. These many downloaded. But you look at these many downloaded actually? No, right? So it will download in cache only. It will not download in your local machine. But you can upload it. Bricks upload to chef server. Okay, bricks install, bricks upload. Bricks upload will try to upload all your cookbooks, whatever downloaded just now in a cache. Those are all will be uploaded into the chef server. Okay, it will download all the cookbooks to the. I worked it right. It is working. So it will try to download all the cookbooks to the chef server. Homebrew is nothing but for Mac. So you can install in a MacBook as well that Java. So it is trying to install, upload the Java. Everything, all the cookbooks are getting uploaded into the chef server now. OpenSSL, test, Java, OpenSSL, Handbrew, test, all these cookbooks are uploaded to the chef server. Now go to here and try to look at your manage.chef.io. Try to look at the policies. As of now, see, all the cookbooks are available now here. Tomcat, OpenSSL, Java, Handbrew, all these things are uploading now. Windows, MEPL, right? Just refresh it. All the cookbooks are downloaded from the supermarket.chef.io and uploaded all these things into chef server. Clear? No, it is for permanent. Brex install and Brex upload for permanent. It will try to download whatever the dependent cookbooks are there. It will try to download and it will upload to the chef server. Okay. Clear is? Okay, test kitchen has, okay, we ran a command in a test kitchen, right? Kitchen converge. The command we run is kitchen converge. It has installed all the softwares. We want to log into the server, kitchen login. Kitchen login will log into that particular server. There you can look at whether the, whatever the cookbook you are, okay, whatever the cookbook you want to do, whether it is done or not, you can test it. Then you can, if you don't require server, you can terminate it. Okay. So if you look at kitchen login, we'll try to log into the server. Once it is logged in, okay, if you see that already, now it is logged in. Now we look at sudo su hyphen cd/etc more motd file, right? They will come to Linux. Right, when you log in, it will it given a welcome to Linux kind of thing? No, right? Let us say okay. So in this particular way, you can update the file. Clear? Now, if you don't require it, suppose what you can do, kitchen destroy. So just you run a kitchen destroy, right? It will delete that particular server. As expected, it is created, fine. Okay. So if you run the destroy, so it will try to destroy that particular machine. That entire commands is available, entire, okay, that content, whatever we discussed till now, kitchen related information can be, you can just go through this kitchen converge, then kitchen login, manually verifying that whether it is working or not, as per installed or not. So we can run a kitchen login. Once you kitchen login, you can log into the server. If you don't require, you can destroy it. Destroying that particular server. Okay, that server is not available anymore. It is going to delete in a while, right? The server is going to, it is powered off now, deleted, done. Clear? Any doubts? So have you all like do you all know what is Apache virtual host and all? What is Apache? What is a virtual host and all? Okay. What is mean by HTTPD? What is a virtual host? How to work with an Apache? Okay, whoever doesn't know that, this particular week try to update yourself. Either Apache or Nginx, that is up to you. Okay. So as a system administrator, at least we know one or two web servers, one application server, one basic database server. Okay. So try to update your skills in Apache. So we'll try to automate that. Okay, virtual hosting and everything with the help of Chef. Okay. With the help of Chef, we'll try to automate it. Okay. So we'll try to look at that. Clear? So what I'll try to do is don't worry. Okay, if you don't know or know Chef, doesn't matter. Try to go to my GitHub location. Okay, it doesn't matter whether you know Chef or not, whatever you learned, that is fine. So to try to go to the my GitHub location. Here it is. Try to work on this particular code. Spring Pet Clinic app deploy. Try to download. If you click on this particular right, clone and download, it will try to download in your location. Try to unzip it and put it into your books. So upload it to the Chef server and try to execute it. It will try to install Java, it will try to install Tomcat, and it will try to deploy one app. Okay, so try to work on it. Okay, try to work on this. To install basically Tomcat. We are trying to install Tomcat, we are trying to install Java, then we are trying to deploy some application on it. Whether if you know or not, just try to do whatever we did. Okay, I'm trying to share that link in your LMS, sorry, in a chat window. Make sure that by next week, all of you, okay, understand what is Apache, okay, how to work with that, okay, like at least, okay, what is on a virtual host, how to have in a multiple websites in a one particular server, those kind of things. Why? Because I want to show you automation of Apache with a multiple virtual host kind of thing. So try to practice and come back. Even I can explain, but again it will take 1 hour. So let us not go into that again. Okay. So it will not take more than 1 hour, guys, to update an Apache virtual environment. Okay, let us say HTTPD virtual host configuration. So basically, virtual hosts are nothing but if you want to maintain a multiple websites on a single server, all right. So you can set up that. So how to set up that? You try to look at this. Any site you can go forward. You can look at that and try to understand, install HTTPD, and try to understand how can we set up a multiple virtual hosts. Basically, you try to understand what is the document root, right? What is the config files and all, and we'll try to look at those information in the next. Is that clear? So try to practice this. Just have to go out. So try to practice this whatever till now we discussed. And in the next week again we have one session on a Chef. We'll try to complete Chef in the next first session, and we'll try to pick up on a build and release concepts like Ant, Maven, Jenkins. Then we'll discuss Docker. Then Ansible, as we discussed a Vagrant, as we discussed Terraform kind of thing, we'll discuss. Okay, can we skip Puppet? Are we all okay to skip Puppet? Okay, if you want me to cover Puppet as well, I can cover, but okay. So 1 or 2, okay, if you look at 1 or 2 configuration management tools, that is good enough actually. Okay, so 1 or 2 configuration management tools, like as I'm discussing in detail Chef and in detailed Ansible. Okay, so So basically nowadays most probably people are expecting an either chef or puppet, one Ansible. Okay, Ansible, chef or puppet, both three are like popular one. But if you know one particular configuration management tool, also good enough. If you know one, you can update the rest of the things easily. Yeah, definitely. I'll try to cover that puppet as well, but it is getting so it will take some time. So no problem. So as I promise you, I'll try to discuss the Terraform as well in our sessions. Terraform is basically to orchestrate your servers in a chef, sorry, in a AWS or Azure or wherever you require. So we'll try to cover that as well. Okay, but it may take more 2 weeks. Okay. Yeah, we'll discuss Puppet as well. No worry. Okay. I told you right, Vijay Shankar. I'll try to discuss Terraform as well. Okay. Okay, fine. So we'll meet again next week. But by the time, try to practice all these things and make sure that you know at least Apache configuration, what is the virtual hosting, what is the document root, okay, what is an SSL, how to configure SSL. Okay, let us leave about SSL, but at least what is a virtual host, what is the document root, how to configure it. Okay, those three topics. Try to practice and come back. We'll meet again next week. Okay. Yeah, Sujit, I'm going to close the session. If you have any concerns, you can talk. You can raise your hand. I'll try to unmute you. Yeah, Sujit, I've unmuted you. If you have any concerns, you can raise.
And, I have missed a couple of sessions as I already told you to 3 weeks back. So, I mean, I am finding it difficult to catch up the entire thing because the concepts of, I mean, this looks more towards coding, etc. I don't know. I would say that because I currently work as transition manager. I don't know how to I catch up with all this. So, what is your best suggestion?
What are the sessions you missed, Sujit?
I missed the
Did
first
you?
3 classes.
Okay, you might have missed Vagrant and AWS classes, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
So is that fine if I go through that recordings? Will I be able to catch up?
Yeah, definitely. You can do that. If you have any concerns,
Mm-hmm.
you can reach me out. Okay. So we'll try
Okay.
to
How
have
do I
a
arrange
okay
it?
discussion on that.
How
Just
do I
contact the
reach you?
support team. Contact to support team
Uh-huh.
and make them ask them to set up a meeting with me. So okay, we'll try to sit together and we'll try to understand the details.
Okay. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Okay.
By next week, maybe I will probably use the recordings to understand more, and then I'll catch up with you.
Yeah, try to go through the recording. If any
Mm-hmm.
concerns, if you have, note it down, and we'll meet again
Mm-hmm.
and we'll try to resolve that issues. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And how this will help me in my career? Like I work as transition manager. I mean, the service transition role that I'm doing. So in this, will I be able to apply this? I mean, or will this add on to my career?
Yeah, definitely. See, going forward, everything will be in a comes under an automation kind of thing. It may be
Oh, okay.
developed once development activity done. It may be testing. It may be migrations. It may everything nowadays it is happening with migrations. Either you
Uh-huh.
are in a technical engineer, or it may be in a agile practitioner,
Mm-hmm.
or else it may be you are in a management, like you are in a technical mm,
Mm-hmm.
like lead or whatever. So you need to
Mm-hmm.
have an understanding like how the
My
automation is
my
happening.
role is more towards the operations. So I mean, we are like supporting the operations to get things, the projects
Yeah.
into live
Now
and all
all
that.
the
So.
yes, all the operations now get automated. So okay,
Mm-hmm.
definitely okay. If you go through this, okay, definitely it will help. When
And
come to the operations, right? What is mean by operations? What do you do?
myself, I support all the documentations and all that required for the operations team to support whatever is going live. Uh, Once the project is deployed, we ensure
Mhm.
whatever the operations team require. It may be the documentations,
Yeah,
the
see,
knowledge,
yeah, if see
trainings.
whatever the now is, if you look at the coming future, right? all the all the clients are moving forward to the DevOps culture. So there again you have to update your skills to get into this as well. So yes, you are in a, definitely everyone has their own feature here. So definitely you will get benefited from this.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
Okay, I'll go through this recordings. I'll come back to you.
sure, sure. Okay,
Okay.
thank
I believe I was not able to catch up fast with all these sessions because I was kind of feeling that I'm losing track. So I was thinking whether
you. And no
I'm
problem, no
right.
problem. Try to attend those sessions. If
Mhm.
not possible, just contact me. I'll make you some other way of understanding it. Okay, I definitely
Yeah.
will make sure that you all in a track. Okay,
Okay.
so
More to
we'll
contact
try
you
to,
is through support team, right?
yes, yes.
Okay.
Once you call to support team, they'll okay, give a ring to me. We can catch up in that. Okay.
Okay. Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Okay.
guys. Thanks for joining. So we'll meet again next coming week, Saturday. And by that time, try to look at what is Apache, what is a virtual hosting and all. And we'll have a smooth session. If you don't have that, again, I have to explain all those stuff. Okay. Please try to go through. Bye bye. Have a great week.